This video is to assist players with terrain placement in DBR for CanCon Little Armies in 2025. Terrain is chosen from the Defender's Army list, except that open cultivated fields, which are areas of good going, can be used, in addition to the Defender's terrain list, if BUAs, built-up areas, which represent urban areas, hamlets, or a large manor, are in the Defender's terrain list, and Es, which are enclosed fields, are not. The Defender chooses 1 to 2 feature equivalents, FE, of each compulsory type. The Defender must also choose between 2 and 3 optional feature equivalents. These are in addition to the compulsory terrain features. Remember, it is 2 to 3 feature equivalents, not 2 to 3 actual features. The Defender might, for example, select lots of small features that amount to 3 feature equivalents, or instead, 2 large terrain features. Remember, the larger the terrain feature, especially on our small battlefields, the less likely they are to fit on the table. The Invader chooses 0 to 2 optional feature equivalents from the Defender's list. There are limits on what terrain can be chosen by either player. Those limits are that no more than 3 half FEs can be chosen by the Defender, and no more than 2 of the same non-compulsory area features can be chosen by either player. There is no limit on the number of compulsory area features that can be chosen by the players as part of their terrain choice. So, if the Defender has compulsory woods, the players may choose as many woods as they like as part of their terrain selection. For the purpose of CanCon 2025, each player must write down their chosen terrain feature types on a piece of paper, secretly, then show each other. After revealing the written selections, the actual area feature pieces are picked and placed on the table or nearby in view of each player. Players will be provided with a sheet that includes a space to draw a map later for deployment, as well as record the terrain selections. Terrain is placed by reference to a side of the table and a distance either from the table or other terrain features. 2 dice are rolled to place each terrain feature, 1 for the edge and 1 for the distance. The short edge of the table to the left of the Defender is numbered 1. The Invader's deployment edge, 2. The short edge to the left of the Invader and to the right of the Defender is 3. Finally, the Defender's deployment edge is allocated as 4. The Defender then nominates a side to be 5, and after this, the Invader nominates a side as 6. Yes, they can be the same side so that one side could, potentially, have 3 numbers allocated to it. Terrain is placed in a specific order. If players have the same type of terrain piece, the Defender places all of their pieces of that type first. Then, the Invader places their features of that type. Waterways are placed first. There is no need to dice for these, and they are simply placed along a short edge of the table. Rivers are placed next. Roll a die. The number on the die is where the river starts. As rivers don't flow uphill, if a river starts on the same side as a waterway, it is discarded. If a river starts on an edge that is not a waterway, roll another die. That is where the river is flowing to. Each player can select 1 river. If, when placing the rivers on the battlefield, 2 rivers start at the same edge, they must join. When placing the first area feature, roll a die. This die is for which edge the feature must be closest to. Then roll a second dice for distance. The number on the die, multiplied by 6 centimeters, is the distance that the terrain feature must be within from the diced edge. For the second and subsequent area features, roll the first dice for the edge, and then roll the dice for distance. The feature must be further away from other area features than distance diced. The feature can be placed as close to linear features or a waterway as players like. Continue placing terrain until either all the features are on the table or have been discarded. If a terrain piece does not fit on the table or cannot be placed according to the rules, probably because it doesn't fit, it gets discarded. For rivers and roads, start at the side with the first dice and go to the side of the second dice. When placing rivers or roads, if the second dice is the same, instead, The side to which the river is flowing, or the road traveling, becomes the next clockwise side. That is the general basics. In our next video, we'll do an example of how this all works.